Here to talk a little bit about today's incident. So about 12:20 today, we had a revenue train slow speed derailment just above us here of the superstructure going northbound, leaving Neptune Ave. What do we know? We had about 37 customers and crew total, 3 crew and 34 customers who are on the train. Thankfully, there were no injuries. Fire department will talk a little bit about that just in a moment. We're focused. We actually had 2 train operators at the time, a seasoned train operator and someone that was in training. So we actually had 2 sets of eyes on the front of this train. It's also a newer train class, and so there are event recorders on this train, so we're able to get some more information once we download that. As you see, we have crews crawling all over this superstructure to see what happens. Our focus will be on the track. It looks like there may have been a track issue, but still we'll need to look at truck. We'll need to do the download, as I mentioned, but that will be initially part of our focus, obviously as part of this investigation. I do want to thank both NYPD and FDNY. Thankfully, we didn't really have to rely on them today because we didn't have any injuries, but as usual, their professionalism and being here is very much appreciated. Look, we'll get to the bottom of this. I realize that we had issues obviously last week as well, and we'll get to the bottom of whatever this is, but at this point, from the collision we had last week and derailment today, don't seem like they're connected at all, but certainly we will, we'll get to the bottom of this particular issue. I'll let the chief speak, and then we'll take some questions. Chief, you want to say a few words?
My name is Mike Mandela from the FDNY. I'm assigned to Battalion 4-3, working in the 8th Division today. Initially, we had a standard response for a train derailment, but it was a relatively simple operation. We had 2 rescue cars pull up to the train on each side and just evacuate the people from the north end and the south end. Like he said, there was 37 total people, including the workers. But other than that, it was a relatively easy operation. It took about an hour to complete from the time of the derailment till all the occupants were off the train.
Can you say and spell your name for us, Chief?
Mike Mandela, Mandala.
Why did it take an hour?
Hang on. We're not going to be yelling at people today. Do you have a question?
I just want to make a correction first, if I could, Chief. Just
one comment.
I apologize. I just want to make one correction of what I said. So the train was actually coming up into Neptune Station. It had left West 8. So again, coming into Neptune. So that said, Tim, you want to?
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Davey, you referred to a track issue.
Yep.
Define for the layman what a track issue is and what are you looking at?
The track needs to be straight in order for a train to run on top of it safely and without a slow speed derailment as we had here. So we're going to look at that and see. We do what we call we have a track geometry car. So actually, we run what looks like a train, but it's technically a geometry apparatus that goes throughout our entire system at least twice a year to see what the condition of the track is, to make sure that it's even, that it hasn't split, for example. It came through here as recently as November, and as far as we know, there were no issues. But we'll look at that as well. We have some work to do.
There was an initial report that a wheel actually came off the undercarriage. Is that correct?
No, so the wheel didn't come off the undercarriage. The wheel came off of the track.
The derailment. All right, Jennifer, CBS.
Is the subway safe? What
Yes.
can you tell commuters at this point? There was one last week, one today. No one was hurt. It could have been a lot worse, but there still doesn't, need the fact that there was another one in a week, right?
Yeah.
So
well,
what can you tell?
Sure. I mean, certainly 2 different issues. I mean, last week we're still investigating that with the NTSB. Today there were no injuries, thankfully. I mean, look, I took the subway to work this morning. I will be taking it home this evening, no doubt. Derailments do happen. They shouldn't, but they do from time to time. And as I said, we'll take a look to see what the issue was here. But customers should feel safe taking the service. As I said, I will be tonight.
All right, Marla, go ahead.
Can you give us any time frame as to when this will be corrected and the F train will be moving normally again?
Yeah, appreciate that. So our goal is to have this back for rush hour service tomorrow morning. We have a pretty large crane coming in to help re-rail the train, probably be here in the next hour or 2. This will not be nearly as complicated as the issues we had last week.
Antoine over here. Where's Antoine? Fox. Go ahead.
Sir, so you can see me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, there were reports going around that somebody or someone, a passenger, may have actually pulled something or did something to...
No, not that we're aware of. What we believe occurred is that an emergency brake itself triggered. So if a train does derail as it did here, the emergency brake was triggered. That's what actually had the crew member get off the train to investigate what occurred. So again, low speed, but no, there's no, we have no report, credible report of anybody pulling an emergency brake.
Okay, Anthony.
Mr. Davey, last week when the NTSB arrived here, they said that they wanted to come because there was a series of events happening with the MTA and take a look at the broader operation and see if everything was up to snuff. If safety was being looked at, really scrutinized by the MTA. What's your response to the NTSB wanting to take a closer look at the operation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that's what the NTSB said exactly. So, I mean, you have to go back to see what they said. Great, and then perhaps what they said thereafter. Obviously, we're we run a complicated operation. It's incumbent upon us to make sure the system is safe, and we'll continue to do that. If the NTSB wishes to support us in this investigation, obviously we'll welcome their expertise.
Sir, please state your full name and title, please.
It's Richard Davies, the head of New York City Transit. Eric, go ahead.
We saw a second train pull up here. Is that how the 37 passengers that were on board?
Yeah, so we brought rescue trains from either side, actually. So actually, it turned out that there were 17 customers that were evacuated from that side and 17 customers evacuated from that side. But that's exactly what you saw. It was a train to get folks off because the entire train itself, as you can see, is out of the station.
Do you have an update on last week's?
No, we don't.
I just wanted to
last question.
Yeah, can you explain the impact? The F line is a big line,
Right.
through Brooklyn. What's the impact for evening rush hour? What's it going to be like for the rest of the borough?
Yeah, I mean, so we're right now we're running bus shuttle service. I think between, do you know exactly where? We'll get that for you, but we're running bus shuttle service. I think I'll get it. We'll get it for you.
Is there a place people can go to get the latest?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can always go to MTA.com, our website, any one of our apps that are available as well. But we certainly will have shuttle bus service for these few stations where we have the impacts, but the rest of the service will be running.
Is the F line down entirely?
No, it's not.
It is running north of.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's
wouldn't know.
I think it's
Excellent
I think it's Kings Highway, but I want to confirm that for you.
We'll get that for you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Chief, thank you so much. Thank you.